morning. I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I keep into my truck for the winter time, and this is what I'm going to do for this year. This is the first winter that I've ever spent driving this pickup truck. So we're going to see what I can squeeze into a small space that's not going to fly around in the cab in the event of an accident, or in case I get stuck somewhere or I break down, heaven forbid. Some things that I just carry on me on a regular basis, and hopefully give you guys some ideas. And I want some ideas to improve on what I can do. But let's get to it. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call a mess. This is what I keep in there. That's it. This is everything. Well, except for that railway spike. I just put that there. But that's what I keep. Now let's go through it. Starting with duct tape. I feel like that's a good thing to have on a truck. So, you could tape up a tarp, anything. But mostly, small repairs. You can do a lot with cable ties and duct tape. Let me tell you. For me, you kind of got to go with the weather. I get a lot of wind, not so much snow, so it's very cold. I keep a blanket. It's not very thick. Just something that's nice and fleece. Will keep you warm in the event of an emergency. So just throw that over there. Stuff in the background, that's just tools on my bench. Don't mind that. It's a mess, I know. In here, simply got spare bulbs. Even though this is an LED, it does fit my truck. This right here is for my truck cap. Some spare fuses, bulbs, stuff like that. I keep it in a Ziploc baggie. There's other thing, so that way if you get into a wreck, it's not flying around the cab with you. A ball for towing. And there's some other little balls in here, and some wrenches for various stuff that fit my truck. A C-clamp, because you never know. This is a 3-inch C-clamp. They're cheap as chips. Honestly, they're a great thing to have for just getting around and doing stuff. Another thing you can have for cheap insurance, a good fire extinguisher. Now this one's not a name brand per se, just Mastercraft, but he is in the green. He's still good, needles right on. There's no pin in it, however. I don't have a pin, but that's a small price to pay. I don't really know what happened to it. But it can tell you what, that can save your bacon. Now, something else. Let me tell you, we'll get to the tow rope and everything after, and shackles and whatnot. This is pretty trivial nowadays, actually, to be honest with you. This is controversial. Booster cables. A lot of manufacturers won't recommend that you boost a vehicle with booster cables anymore because there's so many sensitive electronics. That's nonsense, okay? It's nonsense. Keep a pair of these in your truck if you have an older vehicle like mine. This truck is 25 years old, the old Ford F-150. Keep a set of these on you. Let me tell you, this can actually save your bacon. And you can't go wrong with old school technology. In a pinch, maybe not your brand new Kia that you just took off the lot. They probably don't recommend it, but let me tell you, keep it in your trunk. So let's face it, what would you rather, be stuck somewhere, or would you rather have something like this to get out of that situation? Then when you look at it that way, not so much harm done, right? I also keep one of these. Now, I have a pin for it. It's in the box back here. This is for a trailer hitch to put into your receiver. Let me tell you, somebody taught me something a while ago. When you're pulling somebody out with a tow rope, this kind of goes with the tow rope, there's an eye on this. You can put that into your receiver and that pin, and let me tell you, that is a lot better than don't wrap that around your ball on your hitch. Put that pin in there, and let me tell you, you can pull some stuff out with that. And if that fails, carry a shackle. This is a 5/8 shackle, nothing crazy. But again, the pin fits in there, no problems at all. Make sure you size it accordingly to your rope. But again, you'll be able to, most things you can attach that to. Boom. You got yourself a shackle so that you can put that on the front of your truck. I have 2 great big tow hooks from the factory. Every truck should have that. But that's what I've got. So that works for me. Modern cars, a lot of them don't have attachment points, but then again, you got to cater it to your needs, to your weather. This is what I've kind of done here. And it wouldn't hurt to have more of these, to be honest with you. I'm still adding. This is just my first year doing this. Okay, another thing I keep, even though I have the originals in my truck, this is a good thing to have on you. That's one of the most useful tools a man can have. That right there, flat blade screwdriver, scraper, pry bar, whatever you want. Taking hubcaps off, This has a 17, a 19, and a 21 millimeter on it. It's only a small one. It's not very big. You see here it is with my hand. But let me tell you, it'll do the job. It will work. This is a good thing to have. Maybe even if you're in a pinch, you could break a window with that. How about that? I mean, you might be able to. You throw that there hard enough. Another great thing, a tarp, overlooked. This cost me like $7, and it's, what is this? 4 by 6 feet. But if you're down there and you're having to change a flat tire in the slush and the snow like what we get around here, you're gonna want to stay dry. That's a great way. It's cheap, it's affordable. Throw it in your truck. It packs well. Look how thin that is. It's light. There's nothing to it. Good thing to have. Next thing I got. I cannot stress enough how useful this is. I know we have booster cables here, but this might actually be a better option for newer cars. I absolutely love this thing. It holds a great charge. I keep it plugged into the truck all times through a cigarette lighter, because you can plug it in right here. It's got a battery indicator on it. It's fully charged. Air compressor. I mean, there's nothing you can't do with one of these. I mean, if you got a big diesel truck, you probably want a bigger one. But you can boost 90, we'll say 80% of things with this right here. It's great. It's perfect. It's mobile. It packs well. It's not even that heavy. It's a great tool. This might not be the best brand name. It's just Motomaster. It's what we have here, very readily available at Canadian Tire. But it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful little thing to have. And actually, I've used it many times. I think the case is actually busted open on this. Where to? Yeah, right here. Check this out. I've actually busted open because I've used it and dropped it, and that I've got a short on a John Deere tractor. I can't tell you how many times I boosted that tractor with this thing. Brilliant thing. Keep it in your truck. Cannot stress that enough. Wonderful tool. Moving on. I know a lot of you are about to say, well, I can't get a rope like this because I don't know where I could get one. If you have a relative who works overseas, they will throw these ropes out after they go to an expiry date. There's nothing wrong with this. This can haul a lot of weight. Let me tell you, this little rope, it's a synthetic line. I'm sure it's marked on here somewhere how much it can tow, but let me tell you, it'll be more than enough to pull a small truck out, and let alone a car. This is plenty big. It's got the little eyes on the end. See that? So you can put a shackle or something through there, a pin. That is plenty big. That's a great thing to have. You know, if you had a winch you could pair it with, that'd be even better. I don't have a winch. Might be something I might want to add eventually, but I don't have it right now. So this is the next best option, a tow rope. And this is a very high quality, nice one. But as I was saying, you can get that from, keep an eye on eBay. You can buy them new, but they're expensive. But you can get these cheap secondhand off of old cranes, fish plants. Just keep an eye out where they have stuff like that. And they'll have one. They'll have one where they're throwing it away. They usually give them out to the employees. I'm able to get them off my father. He works overseas on the boats, and they throw those away every now and then, and I end up getting some of them, and he does too, which is fabulous, because they're really, really great thing to have. Now, I'll get to the fluids next after this, what I carry in my truck, personally. But, you gotta think about staying warm. Now, I don't know that this is the greatest thing in the world. I don't know. But these, you light them, and they go for, I think, what does this say here? Odorless, non-toxic fumes. Approximately 4 hours burn time per can. That'll keep you warm. You light that in a truck, this will keep you warm. If you get stuck in a snowbank somewhere, I mean, that's 8 hours of heat right there. If they both last 4 hours each. Staying warm. Speaking of staying warm, hang on. Speaking of staying warm in the wintertime, I travel a long way to work every day, 5 days a week. I like to wear one of these wool sweaters, just a t-shirt underneath, and I will put a big coat on like this. I have a Carhartt coat with a hood. I put that on over this. This neck does up, so it's like a turtleneck. And you won't be cold with that combination. You just won't be. It is what I found to be the best thing to wear in the middle of winter. Like, well, we're starting in winter now. There's actually snow on the ground. It's getting built up out there. But it is one of the best things to wear to stay warm. And like I said, let me tell you, you don't want to be stuck in the cab of that truck when it's negative 10 out and it's blowing. I mean, winds here have exceeded 200 kilometers an hour. This is the wreck house. It is not to be messed with. It'll tear a transport truck apart. I've seen it. They've been in the ditch on their side. It happens way too often. So you got to prepare according to your conditions, like I said. But for me, it's the wind, it's the blowing snow. That's what I've got. So for fluids, I carry a bit of coolant. This is just for all vehicles. You can get one specific to your vehicle, but I figure this is 50-50. It's not going to hurt my truck any harm. That's already been done in the 280,000 kilometers they're on it. It's already been done. That's what I use, like it or not. Brestone's a very reputable brand. Yeah, this is 50-50 mix. You can get just concentrate and mix it yourself if you like, but I carry 50-50. For the extra couple dollars, just get the 50-50. But that's what I use. And it's just the regular green stuff, I think. Pretty sure this stuff is just green. Let's see here. Yeah. Nothing crazy. Readily available. Good thing to have in your vehicle. Vehicles do go through coolant. It evaporates. You could have maybe you'll have to crack a radiator core. I've seen that. Maybe you'll blow a line, something. A jug could get you out of a sticky situation. Maybe even carry 2 if you get the space, but I just carry 1. And I don't care what you drive, but you should always have this. At least carry some extra oil. You know, I have a truck that's 280,000 kilometers. It burns 1 quart every oil change. That's nothing. I mean, that's 8,000, 7,000 kilometer intervals. That is not very long. Okay, that's like 6,000 miles or something like that. It's not very long. But carry oil. Doesn't matter what you drive. Every car consumes oil. It's very normal. It's a normal part of engines. They all consume a little bit. Some actually consume 2-3 quarts. It's normal. But carry some spare oil. You never know, never, ever know what's going to happen. Or you might just need a little bit. It could get you out of a pinch. This is just what I have left over from oil changes. I use, well, this is what I run in my truck for Ford, if you're wondering. Castrol 5W30 with the K&N filter, because I like the nuts. Some of you are probably going to say, well, you know, they're expensive. I like having the nut to be able to wrench it off. It's in a tight spot. It makes it easier. That's just what I do. Plus, it's a good reputable name. That's the filter number right there, if you need it. 2010, HP 2010. That's the filter number on that one. That's just a box I had laying around. But you can't go wrong with carrying that. That's pretty much everything that I put into the cab. What are some other things that I could carry? Well, maybe a couple screwdrivers. A flat blade screwdriver. That's one of the most useful tools a man could have. I know that Dan, New Guy's Garage, he'll tell you that. It's useful for everything. He's right. I hate flathead screws, but I love a flathead screwdriver. They're just useful. How many times do you use it as a pick? Anything. They're pretty useful. Something I should also talk about is accessory lighting, and I'll get to that right now. Pardon the wind. Like I was telling you, it's usually always a breeze here. We're starting to get some snow here now. I'm going to show you what I run for tires, what I chose to run for tires, and how I've got this truck kitted out for the winter time. First of all, lighting. I just have halogen bulbs in there for reason being is fog. Well, that's the Atlantic Ocean right there. Well, this is my front doorstep. It's right there. So halogen it is. They're much better in the fog. I had LEDs. I don't like them for the fog. They don't cut through it. They just make a wall in front of you. Another thing too is those lights on the top on the back rack. Let me show you. Let me show you here. I just went ahead and wired these up. I haven't got everything secured yet, but pretty easy installation. I just ran the wire down through here along the frame rail, up underneath the hood with the relay. I never made a video on that. You know, if you want to search it up, there's about 1 million videos on that. But I just wired it to a switch in here, in the cab. This one right here, that turns on those lights. Another thing I have, really great thing to have. I know it seems silly, but a CB radio can get you out of a lot of trouble. And people still use these. In fact, there you go. Channel 9 is an emergency channel. Again, it could get you out of a pinch. If you were in something, let me tell you, you'll be glad to have it. A lot of truckers here in Newfoundland, we have a lot of truckers. They use them. They use them a lot. Don't mind the mess in here. Those bags are filled with sand. I'm going to put those in my pan. Now for tires. I chose the brand new Goodyear Wranglers, and I am in love with them so far. They're a non-studded tire. They're very aggressive, but they're great in the mud and snow. So, and they're pretty squishy considering that they're a knobby tire. But they do pretty good on the snow. I really like them. I put 4 on there. I got them on the front and the back. 245, 75, 16, the original size for this truck. And no, they don't come in white walls. Actually, Emma spent the time to do that and paint them white. But you wouldn't know it now with the salt and everything. Stock rims, stock everything. I'm actually missing a hubcap here, but everything is stock. Now, here's a great time to show you. You can see the wool sweater is pretty nice underneath the big Carhartt coat I got here. Very nice, very warm. Also watertight. You can get spray to spray on this material. Very nice coat. Worth every penny. And then the sweater, well, got some buttons. There we go. A little bit of a side note. Got the pan on the wood stove, seasoning it nicely. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh. I've already had it on this side, on the back. I've just flipped it over. It's been about an hour. I did about an hour on both sides. And again, I used the grapeseed oil, so that's what I've done here. And let me tell you, that works wonders. Ooh, that's hot. Jeez. Actually. Ooh, hot. There we go. That has worked wonders. So I'm going to cook supper in it here now. A little bit of a side note, but that's what we had going on in the background here. Keep that stove starved while you're doing this. Whew. Just, there we go. Oh man, there's nothing better than the wood heat. With the nice hot charcoals. A nice split wood. Open grain wood. Dog in the stove full. Gotta love it. Got to love it. It's called freedom. Oh. It's called freedom right there. Not costing me a dime. Get in there. There we go. Nothing to it. Gotta love it. No emission stuff. So watch this. Gotta love it.